host of the Gridiron.
Welcome to the Gridiron, baby. If you can give this video a thumbs up and maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking awesome. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live, if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. In the description box below, very top link takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my membership, my channel by signing up for a membership, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. And then finally, also, just a little ways down, it's probably underneath the membership link. It's a link that takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 9,500 members in the group. It's doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I got internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied. I promise. Well, but I'll tell you, this this season just rolls along, it is absolutely, it's just absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Like, some teams just seem to have all the luck, all the good luck. I mean, nobody gets injured. They win football games and all the breaks go their way. And it's just absolutely amazing. And then there's teams like the Giants, maybe the Jets. You can throw some other teams in there. It really is. It is just absolutely simply just like mind-boggling. Just how like nothing, absolutely nothing goes right. The Giants, the season just continues. I mean, it is simply maybe if we're lucky, maybe one thing will go right for the Giants next year. Maybe, I don't know. It is just simply mind-boggling. So apparently Malik, in practice. We're talking practice now. I don't want Allen Iverson you. We're talking practice, right? Malik apparently in practice hurt himself. So he's had a concussion. He has a groin. Now he's got a hip. So we're not exactly sure. He apparently had an MRI done. We'll have to find out. Of course, Daboll doesn't really tell you much about it. He gives you as little as possible. Once again, I don't blame him. And one of the reasons why I don't blame him is because if he gives you just a little too much or whatever, then the moron beat reporters and all just start going crazy and stuff like that and all. I mean, if he tells himself, well, he did it on running around while the defender was chucking him with his hands and chucked him a little too hard, and Malik came in and he came out of a turn because of the chuck a little too hard, and he did something with his hip. So then of course the stupid idiotic beat reporters and all would be like, Daboll is telling his guys to run dangerous routes. Is he crazy? Should this guy be arrested? I mean, they would. I mean, that's unfortunate. It would be nice if he could just go up there and say, "Yeah, well, this happened," and all, and the writers will go, "Oh, okay, all right." Daboll said that this happened, and that's what they would type up, and that's what would go out. And I said, but unfortunately, I mean, the idiots would just go crazy with it. So I mean, that's one of the things I can best thing I can relate it to, like with why probably to me anyway, seems like, right? Like Belichick, it's always funny to listen to Belichick talk. Like, after the game was over or in a press conference, whatever it was or something, the reporter would ask him like a question, it'd be like 9-hour-long question. So you think kind of this and that, so possibly this we're going and this and that, and Belichick's kind of like, And after the guy comes up with like a 3.5 hour long question, Belichick look at him and go, yeah, you know, I mean, it's just he'll Belichick you, he'll check you, right? That's what Daboll does. The best thing I can is it's kind of like the few screwed up for the many. I mean, why Daboll doesn't give you a lot. He gives you the barest minimum. But I mean, also one of the things is kind of like, when you're driving along, maybe through a development or something like that, you got these speed humps or speed bumps, right? That's because you got some idiots out there who don't know how to drive. That's plain and simple. If you go through, for the most part, right? If you go through all these developments that have the speed humps or bumps or whatever they're called, they're also called something else. I forgot. I seen what they were called something else in one of the other developments I was in the other day. I can't remember exactly what they're called, but basically there's the bumps, which is the smaller ones. So right, they're about maybe 2 feet wide or whatever. That's a nice. Then there's the humps, right? So you got the bumps and the humps, and then there was something else involved. But for the most part, the reason why they're there is because idiots don't know how to drive, and the few stupid idiots that don't know how to drive screw it up for the many. If for the most part, all these developments, that have the humps and bumps, if everybody ever always just drove through there 25 or 30 miles an hour, right? They probably wouldn't have those there. They're put there for a reason. That's because of stupid idiots that don't know how to drive. So it's like the few screwed up for the many. Well, it's the same thing here. I mean, like with Daboll talking, giving you the barest minimum and all, and they were asking them questions and about Malik and everything like that. And so unfortunately, I wasn't even in the game. It was apparently, it doesn't mean he's not, but it's just, it's a shame because he missed the time with the concussion. Yeah. And if he misses time, maybe a game or so, whatever it's just, somebody did ask him, about shutting him down for the season, which is, I think, obviously a little crazy, but we got, let's see here. Giants injury report. Malik Nabers with a hip flexor is questionable for the game versus the Saints. Nabers' status for Sunday is uncertain. All right. Giants rookie wide receiver Malik Nabers has joined the ranks of the team's injured players. Shocking. Wow. Nabers did not practice on Friday due to a hip flexor injury he apparently sustained during Thursday's practice. He is listed as questionable. Head coach Brian Daboll said Nabers underwent an MRI after suffering the injury. It's just so Nabers, the team's first-round pick, is their leading receiver with 75 receptions for 740 yards. Now, apparently, unless something really bad, they have to really shut him down. Right? Last year, the Giants, I think it said they were one of 4 teams who did not have an 800-yard receiver. Now, you don't need an 800-yard receiver to be good, because the Packers were one of them. The Packers probably had let's see. What did the Packers have there? Let's go. Let's see. 2023 Green Bay Packers. All right. See what did they have? Let's check out their roster here. I mean, it's where obviously Jay Love at Special Sauce, he started coming into his own, really doing a good job. All right, so they had let's see, receiving yards. Okay, here we go. Okay, well, they had one guy, Jaden Reed, had 793 yards receiving, but they had a guy with 793. Daubs had 674. Wicks, my last name, no relationship. He had 581, then he had 422, a 355, 352, 233, 223, 218. So, I mean, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They had 9 guys with at least 200 yards receiving, right? So, and then they had Malik Heath, who had 125. So they had 10 guys had at least 100 yards receiving. So, you know, he spread the ball around quite a bit. You know, what do you have? He had 4,100 yards receiving. So you don't need obviously a 1,000-yard receiver on your roster. It does help because I mean usually that means that, if you got yourself a straight up, I mean that's one thing that the Packers are missing, just a straight up dog, a real that they're knocking on the door. They could pretty. I mean. That was a very good game against the Lions. The Lions are unfortunately a little banged up on the defensive side. So that's going to hurt them down the stretch and into the first team that's make it to the playoffs, right? But that's going to make it very difficult for them in the playoffs because their defense is just every week it just seems like they get more and more banged up. Some teams are just like totally decimated. The Lions are heading in that area, like the 49ers, they're decimated. Some of these good teams are, really banged up. Other teams are very, very lucky. They have minimal injuries. Very, very lucky. So the lucky will get lucky, and the unlucky will get unlucky. So I'm pulling for the Lions. I hope they do well this year, but their defense is really getting banged up. But anyway, it's a shame, like with Malik, because he's going to have, he plays in at least another game or so. He should wind up with at least well over 800 yards receiving. So we still got 5 games left. So if he has to miss a game, I'll have to wait and see. Maybe miss a game or 2. They can finish up strong the last 3. That'd be cool. It would also be nice if we can get him in there because he was 7 for 260. So, I mean, if he could play 4 games, if gets like 60 yards receiving, and he can wind up with possibly 1,000 yards receiving, which would be fantastic. He deserves it. He really does. But he is one of the few bright spots, to be excited for the Giants going forward. Let's see. He has dealt with a groin issue throughout the season and did miss 2 games earlier, obviously, for the concussion. So, we'll have to wait and say, keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully he can get in there. The Giants have, their tackles are out, right? Their number 1 receiver's out. Their number 1 tight end is out for the season, right? It's just unbelievable. It really is. You just shake your head. Will anything ever go right for the New York Football Giants ever again? It's just unbelievable.